ever wondered how to get the golden crackly crust and soft chewy interior of artisan bread when you make bread at home? Well, this just might be your secret weapon. I'm Rhiannon, owner of the Epsom Bakehouse. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like more bread making tips to help you bake great bread at home. And you can find a link to sign up to my regular newsletter with more tips, recipes, information on my online classes, and more in the link below this video. Today, I'm going to talk about how to master baking bread in a Dutch oven in your own home kitchen. So why use a Dutch oven when you bake bread? Well, your dough loves steam when it's baking in the oven, especially in the first part of the baking time. The steam will condense on the top of your dough and helps with the oven spring, which is where your dough does a final rise in the heat of the oven. The steam helps keep the top of your loaf moist so that your dough can rise as much as possible before that crust forms. In a Dutch oven, your dough goes inside to bake, and with the lid on, that steam is trapped. It will come out of the dough from the moisture that you kneaded in. This concentrates the effect of the steam on your dough and helps even more with the rise. In addition, you'll preheat the Dutch oven in your oven so that it is as hot as the oven when you add your dough in. It's almost like you've brought the heating element closer to your dough. Having your dough in contact with that hot surface again helps with your oven spring and also helps develop that beautiful crackly golden brown crust all over your final loaf. Whilst you'll have even heat distribution and that trapped steam helping you bake that artisan bread of your dreams, there are a few cons to using a Dutch oven as well. Namely, this is quite heavy, so it can get extra heavy and unwieldy in terms of getting it into the oven and manoeuvring it around your kitchen. Also, as mentioned, you will need to preheat this in the oven. So you'll be handling this with oven gloves extremely carefully. And you'll also need to find a way to lower your dough in without touching the sides and getting the Dutch oven back into the oven to finish baking your bread. However, it's definitely something I'd recommend trying if you'd like to bake that artisan bread of dreams at home. One further potential issue is that usually you could probably only bake one loaf at a time. I can only fit one of these in my oven at a time, whereas before you may have batch baked, say, 2 or 3 loaves in a tin if you were wanting to make more than one. However, I'd certainly recommend trying out baking bread with a Dutch oven if you'd like that to get that beautiful crackly crust and that soft chewy interior. Dutch oven is usually a large cast iron pot, perhaps enamelled on the outside. It should be big enough to get your loaf in, so make sure it's big enough and that it's got space for your dough to rise in it as well. You'll also need to check that the Dutch oven you want to use is safe to use at the high temperatures that you bake bread at, especially the knob on top. Check that that can go in at high temperatures, and if not, you could remove it or try using a different type of Dutch oven. As well as round, Dutch ovens also come in other shapes, for example, long oval shapes if you want to make a different shaped loaf. You can check out some suggested Dutch ovens on my storefront links below this video, and those are an ad. So how do you use your Dutch oven at home? Well, you're going to use this at the point where you have mixed and kneaded your dough and it's now on its second rise after you've shaped it. So I've got this wonderful ball here and I've just scored the top of my loaf and that is ready now to go into the oven. You can see here as well, I put it on an extra long piece of baking paper so that I can use these sides as handles to lower the dough into the preheated Dutch oven. You can also get silicone slings that are specific for Dutch ovens and again help you lower the dough into the Dutch oven before it bakes. So this is preheated now to the temperature of my oven. So I'm going to take the top off and lower the dough into it, ready to bake. And there it is, all nestled in, ready to bake in the oven. So I'll put the lid back on into the oven and then we'll check out the results in a bit. And there you have golden brown crust, well risen, beautifully baked loaf of bread in the Dutch oven. And towards the end of the baking time, take the lid off so that the crust can brown completely in the heat of the oven. So 5 to 10 minutes before the end of the baking time. Let me know if you're going to try out using a Dutch oven to bake some bread at home and see the difference it can make in your final bread. If this has been helpful, do give a thumbs up to the video and subscribe to my channel for more bread making tips to help you bake great bread at home. And you can sign up for my regular newsletter for more tips, recipes, information on my online classes and much more in the link below this video. I look forward to coming back soon with some more bread making tips.